Good afternoon. Well, I was requested to share with you this afternoon about Our Lady. And I came from a country which is dominantly Catholic, and our Catholic is Marian in character. And we call that Marian Christianity. But this afternoon, let me share with you some thoughts about the year of faith, the new evangelization, and Mary as the star of the evangelization. Well, last October 11, 2011, Pope Benedict has released an apostolic letter entitled Porta Fide, calling for a year of faith, running from October 11, 2012 until 24 of November 2013, the Solemnity of Christ the King. Well, this celebration, the Year of Faith, coincides with the two major events in the life of the Church. October 11, 1962, well, that was the opening of the Second Ecumenical Council. And we are celebrating 50 years of the Vatican II this year. And also in 1992, well, the promulgation of the Catechism of the Catholic Church, or Universal Catechism, which is celebrating also its 28th year this year. So with these major events in the life of the Church, well, we are indeed blessed as a church, as an individual, and as a community to celebrate our faith, especially our devotion to Our Lady. And we are being reminded to Jesus through Mary. And the aim or the goal of this year of faith, well, can be seen in two ways. One is conversion. We are being called to the ongoing conversion of everyone, a metanoia, a change of heart. And of course, for us, the joy of rediscovering our faith, so that we become credible witnesses in proclaiming the truth. And this is the main objectives of this year of faith. But mind you, my dear brothers and sisters, the impression given to us as a Catholic is that we are sacramentalized but not evangelized. That's why the main reason behind the goals of Year of Faith is for us to touch base with the basic of things in the life of a baptized, of a Christian, by looking at ourselves as evangelized, not only sacramentalized. Because when we say, speak of evangelization, speak of the initial proclamation of the good news, so that with this, we can really put into practice the new life in Christ given to us when we were baptized. So the call for a new evangelization is the main task of the Year of Faith. The meaning of this new evangelization is not new in its content, but rather new in its expressions, new in its fervor, and new in its methods, that we have to adapt according to the signs of the times. We have to adapt according to the breakthroughs in technology, so that we will be more credible in terms of preaching the good news and trying to put across the message of Christ, especially through our devotion to Our Lady. Now the question is, how do we insert our devotion to Our Lady in terms of this new evangelization thing. The first reminder that we have to make of ourselves and of our communities that Mary was the first evangelizer. In two accounts in the Gospel, well, we can see how Mary proclaims the good news. One is that in the wedding at Cana. Well, reflecting on this, we could see how Mary interceded before Jesus when she said, well, they ran out of wine. And Jesus said, well, what has to do with this, with our visiting here as a guest? But Mary told the people around, do whatever he tells you. Well, there was a miracle in terms of the wine. The first instance wherein Mary interceded, proclaimed something that is new in the life of the disciples and in the community then. The second event in the life of Mary where she evangelized, well, during her visit to her cousin Elizabeth. The sharing of that joy of visitation, bringing about the good news that she, who is an ordinary woman, will receive a favor from God to be the mother of God. And recognizing the presence of Jesus in the life of our Blessed Mother, well, the womb, the baby in the womb, the child in the womb of Mary leaped for joy. And precisely, this is the second event in the life of our Blessed Mother, that she simply proclaims the goodness of God. Well, looking back in the life of our Blessed Mother, from the Fiat, the Annunciation, till the Stabat Mater Dolorosa, till at the foot of the cross, Mary pondered everything in her heart. And I think this is one thing that we have to learn from our Blessed Mother. Caught up with the different challenges and difficulties of our times, well, we don't have to create noise. We don't have to be stressed. We don't have to shout. We have simply to reflect, to keep and ponder everything in our hearts. Because in silence, we find ourselves and God. So looking back in the life of an individual, well, a dying person, encountering a dying person, the last part of the body or this body system of a person who is dying that really stops is the heart. When the heart stops, well, the person also stops, meaning to say he or she is dead. So let me, well, invite you to reflect in the heart of our Blessed Mother. Well, it's a heart of bless, of course, but there are three characteristics that we can find and relate in the heart of our Blessed Mother. One is that Mary's heart is a poor heart. A poor heart. Well, when it was given to her, the announcement was given to her, Mary, well, the first response of Mary was that she was afraid. I know not man. But then Mary, towards the end of the dialogue with Angel Gabriel, she said, Fiat voluntas tua. Let it be done to me as you have said. See the poor heart of this woman. She has no ready answer for that plan of God. But eventually, she made her yes, and that yes made the difference in the life of our Blessed Mother and in the life of every Christian. So, a poor heart. The basic question that we must ask ourselves, Are our hearts really poor? We have so many grumblings within. We have so many angers and resentments in our hearts. How can our hearts be poor when we could hardly empty ourselves with ourselves? To touch base with Christ is for us to have that disposition of Our Lady, to have that poor heart. The second thing is that Mary's heart is a silent heart. Let me ask you, is your heart silent now? With 130 million euro at stake, are you silent? Are you not, excited about these things? With the nippy air and weather that we have now, and you feel some pains in your body, is your heart silent? The second characteristic of Mary's heart is a silent heart. We can only touch base with Christ. We can only see the will of God in each one of us, in our community, when we are able to silence ourselves. As I have said, there is so much grumbling within, simply because we could hardly face realities of life. Mary was able to ponder everything in her heart because she was true to herself. She said, well, I am the handmaid of the Lord. Be it done to me as you have said. We have to remember, and we have to remind ourselves that we are simply creatures of God. We are in need of the grace of God, and because of that, well, we have to be humble enough to accept realities, our failings and shortcomings, and well, the things that we cannot accomplish without the grace of God. And lastly, Mary's heart is a trusting heart. Amidst difficulties and trials in life, my dear brothers and sisters, we have to have that basic trust in the Lord. If we want to transform our society, and if we want to respond to that call of conversion, the basic stand of a devotee to Our Lady is that of trusting heart. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. That's indeed the characteristics of Mary's heart. That's why Mary was able to ponder everything in her heart. In this year of faith, we are being invited to do the same, to make that basic stance, just like Mary's heart. Let me just conclude my sharing this afternoon with a story. Well, I came from the Philippines. And, well, there was once a pilgrimage to Rome. And a young boy happened to be part of that pilgrimage. And then when they reached Rome, they were given that opportunity to see around, to walk around. And this boy happened to pass by a big park, just like the park that we have here. The athletic field here in Tooting Bec, or in Clapham Common. Anyway, and he saw a big stone at the center of that big park. And the stone was well fenced. And then the first impression of this young boy is that, why is there big stone in that big park, at the center of that big park? So this inquisitive boy was quiet, could not look for an answer. He does not know how to speak Italian. You know, Filipinos. But then, after a week, the boy passed the same park, and he noticed some changes in the shape of that big stone. it looks like now a lion. Actually, the reason behind is that it is being chiseled to be a lion, no? A figure of a lion at the center of the park. So this inquisitive boy approached the man, actually the one who is doing the chiseling. And the boy said, well, gentleman, how did you know that there is a lion inside that stone? How did you know that there is a lion inside that stone? So because it looks like now a lion, the usual, simple stone. Well, the man looked at the boy and he said, well, wonderful question, my dear boy. But then the man answered the boy, yes, I did know that there is a lion inside that stone because I've seen first the lion in my heart. May I repeat the response of the man? Yes, I have seen the lion in that stone because I have seen first the lion in my heart. Well, no amount of devotion, my dear brothers and sisters, to Our Lady can transform us, can make us real witness of the truth in our society today, if we could hardly see the lion in your heart. So when you go home this afternoon, my assignment to you for the next day with Mary is to look and find, identify, and relate with that lion inside your heart. Saint Exupéry said in The Little Prince, it is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the naked eye. Indeed, to Jesus through Mary. God bless you all.